health is wealth, as they say, and when it comes to health, some people faces a lot of challenges, probably because they don't have enough money to take care of themselves, and that's why the state government have introduced Anambra State Health Insurance Agency to help subsidize the rate people pay when they are hospitalized. And today in the building, we have Dr. Simeon Onyemechi, the Executive Secretary, Anambra State Health Insurance Agency. We have him in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Ashia. The journey so far, in as much as she has done a little introduction, because we want to hear from you, which is, part of the journey. What is Ashia? What is it all about?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, the Anambra. Ashia is Anambra State Health Insurance Agency. But then this agency is saddled with the responsibility of managing the Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme. The agency, on one hand, is the regulator and implementer of the scheme itself. The scheme is the most important thing, which is a provision of the law of Anambra State 2016 that is designed to ensure that everybody who resides in Anambra State, wherever you may be, have access to quality, affordable, equitably distributed, and wide-ranging package of healthcare services at your doorstep, at most within a 500 meters radius of wherever any Anambrarian reside, or somebody who is not an indigene of Anambra but resides and works here in Anambra. So wherever you stay in Anambra, this is a scheme that is an alternative to your paying exorbitant costs out of pocket. You get quality health care at a very affordable rate in a manner that will ensure financial risk protection. You no longer have to sell valuable assets. You no longer have to borrow money for you to pay for healthcare services. You don't have to go to the roadside to get to patent medicine vendors or just go to pharmacies to get medication without prescription. But this offers you access to getting your healthcare needs met by professional healthcare providers, i.e. medical doctors, who will see you. Hitherto, you may not have been able to afford their services, irrespective of the specialty you may need. If it's something that requires surgical care, you meet a surgeon. If you require gynecological and obstetric services, you meet an O&G consultant. If you require services of an internist, you meet that person.
Okay.
Well, no matter who you are, whether you're a peasant or you are a rich person, whatever it is, but in a manner that your pocket will not feel the pinch of the fact that, yes, you have actually had access to quality health care. For me, this is one singular thing that His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano's administration has done that will outlive him for generations to come. Anambrarians will be grateful to him for this initiative.
All right. This scheme was launched last year, October, right?
It was launched precisely 14th of September 2018 by His Excellency.
Okay, now we are treating Ashia, the journey so far. So we want to know how many people have registered under the scheme.
Okay, since registration commenced as we speak today, because it's electronic, we have registered about 30,000 Anambrarians into our scheme. And at the point where we are with 30,000, most health insurance scholars and professionals will tell you for a scheme to be viable is the point where you hit 30,000 mark. And at this time, we are very confident that we are at that point where most professionals documented in literature say, okay, your scheme is viable, is sustainable at 30,000. So we hit that mark already, and we are making progress. Every day we have more people registering, and people are assessing care. It's not just about the registration. We have had people doing surgeries. So far, we have had at least 20 people doing surgeries under our scheme and walking out of the hospital without paying a dime.
Wow.
Deliveries, we opened our doors to services. Enrollment started in November. Launching was done in September, the milestones, and then in November last year, precisely November 5th, we started enrollment into the scheme. And January 1, 2019, we opened our doors to the first set of people who registered to start accessing care. And as we speak today, deliveries, we have over 50 deliveries paid for by our scheme. Hospital attendants, at least 1,000 in the last 3 months, paid for by our scheme. People now walk out of hospital, get to pharmacies, pick up their drugs, and they go home, paying just 10% of the cost of medication. I go on the street and people say, that's the Ashia doctor. Thank you so much. The other day in Roban stores, one woman accosted me. Doctor, my son did a surgery we didn't have money to do for some 2 years now. Hernia surgery, herniorrhaphy. And thank God for your scheme. We had our surgery done. I don't know her. She just accosted me at Roban, and then that gives a sense of fulfillment. But most importantly, it is to the credit of His Excellency for designing such a scheme. He is well-traveled and has deemed it fit that this time Anambra should have what happens everywhere in the world. So that's this journey so far.
Looking at you speak, and of course people watching right now would say, this is too good to be true. Yes, looking now, when you talk about the registration, and because we know we're human beings, things happen, people fall sick, even when you don't plan to fall sick, you know, these things happen. What is obtainable? How do people go about this registration? And what are things people need to do to be able to access this health facilities, people in need of it?
Yeah, thank you. It's a simple process. You pay the premium. For you to register with our scheme, you pay 12,000 naira per year, and then there's this 500 naira for the cost of ID card that you keep for life. So that one is a one-off payment. But then every year you pay 12,000 naira as your premium to access our care. Now, that is 1,000 naira every month premium. I hear people tell me, 12,000 naira, doctor, is so much. We may not afford it. And I'm like, cut me some slack, I beg your pardon. If you get to any hospital, do you go to sit before a doctor and you leave your house with less than 10,000 naira for one visit? Most times we go for simple malaria treatment, we go prepared in the hospital with at least 5,000 naira for one episode. But then the government has designed a scheme that offers you 12,000 naira payment for a whole calendar year for whatever health challenges you may have within our benefit package. So when I hear that statement of 12,000 naira, it's high, I say I'm a medical doctor myself. I was practicing in the clinic. Nobody sat before me without paying a consultation fee of 1,500 naira just for me to see you, whether I'll write any drug or send you for test or not. But now we are offering you a scheme that entitles you to health care, consultation, laboratory test, medication with 1,000 naira every month. The fact that we say 12,000 naira premium makes people to lose touch of the fact that it is 1,000 naira every month. But then the collection is done at once because of the industry best practices. So with industry best practices, we say pay your premium upfront, 12,000 naira. You can walk into any Zenith Bank branch, a Fidelity Bank branch across the state, pay 12,000 naira. You come with your slip into our accounts, of course. You come with your slip to any of our registration points, either in Oka here or in the different local government headquarters. But then, most importantly, I can say, in the comfort of your bedroom, you can log on to www.asha, that is ashia.an.gov.ng, and you go on our portal and pay your insurance premium on your own using your ATM card, and you come with a reference code, we register you.
Okay, we still come back to that so that we talk more on Ashia. I like the sound of that. Let's go out to the street and know what people have to say about the journey so far for Ashia.
Wonderful idea. If it is affordable to the common man in Anambra State, yeah, and if it will help us health-wise, is a wonderful innovation. But we need to know more about it.
It's a very good one. The problem is not having these policies, but being able to implement them and getting people aware, making sure that people know really why they should do it.
I think it's a very good development because in a community there is nothing like health, one being very healthy. So I think what Anambra State can do to create the awareness is by, one, production of flyers and also posters too. Some of all these shuttle buses, keke na pepe, some of all these posters can be pasted on the back of the shuttle buses. By so doing, people can know that such a thing is happening in Anambra State.
Everybody must say, let's suppose now me announce, now publish, and the mother working there, something like that. Why we're working, the mother working,
I spend a lot of time online, and the fact that I'm not aware is a problem. If I'm not aware, what happens to the rest of people that actually need the health policy and they don't know about it? I think the government should try hard to sensitize people. Maybe go on the street, share leaflets, pamphlets, something, make billboards, because I don't know. That means there are over 100 people that don't know, and that's a lot.
You're welcome back. You've heard what people say, and a lot of them are claiming or are saying that they don't really know about the scheme. These are the people here in Oka. What about people in some rural communities? So what are you going to do to see that people are well sensitized and on the know about the scheme?
Yeah, thank you so much. The response from the street tells clearly that we have a lot of work in our hands. I won't sit here to tell you we have done enough with publicity. We have done some things, but then the fact that there are still people, I saw 4 different respondents, and all 4 of them says clearly that they are not aware of the scheme. Mm-hmm. That tells that, yes, we have a lot of work on our hands to do. But then suffice it to say that we have made some modest efforts to let people know that, yes, there is something of this nature. We have sent out announcements to churches. At least I have personally signed letters that went out to churches and have been read out to about 84 churches across the state. We have conducted road shows in Oka, in the markets essentially, Ikoka, the markets in Ekulobia, the markets in Nnewi, 2 different markets in Onitsha. We have distributed our flyers. We are actually visible on air. Within even your own medium, we have our advert running 4 slots every day since December 2018. So, but most times when you push out publicity, it depends on what people listen to. One of the young ladies talked about social media.
Yes.
The social media thing, our Instagram and Facebook handles are active every day. I even boost what we post. There's a latest post we did on Tuesday and boosted it for about $53, and that is actually going. We also boosted Instagram last week, our post. But then, when you hear these kind of things, for me, those are the real things I want to hear. Someone should tell me, you're not doing enough. Not everybody coming around telling you, well done, you're doing so well. No, I want to hear people say, you're not doing enough. So this has told me precisely the one of going to do adverts using moving vehicles, keke,
like
buses,
stickers pasted on
those. That I have taken clearly, and we are going to definitely, I will bring this to my governing council. We will definitely do all of this.
All right, you know some ailments are very expensive to manage or treat, something like cancer and all that. The scheme, does it cover all kinds of ailments?
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. For me, it is very clear that we state clearly what we cover and what we do not cover. Cancers, for example, we don't cover cancer, not just our scheme. There's hardly any scheme in the whole world, not even in the US, not even in the developed climes, European countries and all of that, cover cancer. Cancer, aesthetic things like wanting to do weight loss using surgeries, bariatric surgeries, liposuction, such things, most of those kind of things are not covered by health insurance. But it's good to say that the package we have covers at least 65 to 70% of the things that take people to hospitals. Now, it will interest you to know that the World Health Organization has said clearly that 70% of the health needs of people are addressed at the primary health care level. And if you do well with primary health care level, you can be rest assured that 90% eventually of what you suffer from would have been handled at that level when we have a functional system. So what the scheme will cover are basic needs that will keep you safe and healthy from progressing even to cancers. Cancers don't just start in one day. Most people who you hear say, the common things you hear is somebody says, this man is very healthy, used to be very healthy, nothing was wrong with him, he'd never even visited hospitals. All of a sudden, he just died. That is the only thing I need to hear, that he never even visited hospitals. Vehicles that we have, you run your vehicle and after some months, you go and service it, change the oil. And a human being, the human machine, you tell me confidently, never visits hospitals. That is a prerequisite for the person to break down one day. So it's not surprising to hear the man never visits hospital and all of a sudden just died. The scheme helps you to have a need. Now you have paid, you have registered, then regularly, whether you feel healthy or not, you go to the hospital and then you are checked. Routine investigations are done on you. You meet a doctor who consults, asks you certain questions, give you lifestyle modification advice and all of that. As simple as giving you counsel on your weight loss schedule. This is your ideal weight, work towards this. Keeps you away from several cancers. Sure. Keeps you away from hypertension. Keeps you away from several things. But our people prefer not to go to the hospitals. But we can take our cars to go to hospital.
All right, before we go, is there any limit to the number of times you will come to the hospital as regards to this thing in a month or in a year?
Yeah, thank you. As long as you are registered for the things that are covered under our package, you can go to hospital as many times as you have need for those services.
I also won't even know what is covered under your package. Are you going to say it here or probably when one comes to the hospital?
Oh, I will say it here, and when people come to register, we always say it. We have primary package, okay? Anambra State, a basic health care plan. Anything that has to do with, say, malaria, typhoid fever, pneumonia, down to treatment of illnesses in children, diarrheal diseases, the child is coughing, even down to malnutrition like kwashiorkor and things like that. Even people who, for HIV services, we also render counseling and voluntary counseling and testing services, as far as even including TB services. We do appropriate diagnosis and referral for tuberculosis. We do labor, antenatal. You will attend antenatal as a pregnant woman throughout the course of pregnancy. You will deliver, even if you have need for cesarean section. We section the person. Simple surgeries like appendicitis, that's appendectomy. Hernia, I talked about the woman whose son had herniorrhaphy under our scheme. Removal of breast lumps, removal of certain lumps around the body. So
lots and lots of them.
It goes into surgeries and
all those, if I want to register online, I'll still see them there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
As you conclude, because we're concluding now, just one more question as we'll conclude. Is this only for Anambrarians or people also living in Anambra State have access to this?
Yeah, this is for everybody resident in Anambra State, irrespective of your state of origin, once you live here. But then since you say we are concluding, I would like to use this medium to appeal. We are in the Lenten season. There is no better way to do charity. There are people in our communities who truly cannot pay for health care. The governor has paid for 10,000 lives himself, and we have registered people into the scheme. We have philanthropists paying across different communities in Anambra State for 100 lives, 200 lives, 50 lives, 70 lives as they can afford. And we have gone ahead to register these people. If you have people coming to you talking about healthcare needs, you spend money to pay for women to be freed after they discharged, after they have delivered in hospital, you do all those kind of things. Why don't you please, in the Anambra, channel your charity towards paying for 5, 10, 20, as much as you can pay for people in your communities and your families to come on board this scheme.
Thank you so much, Dr. Simeon Nonyemechi, the Executive Secretary of Anambra State Health Insurance Agency. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for being with us on today's edition of Good Morning Anambra. My name is Chidimma Oranwa. Join us again tomorrow.
And I'm a bear.